This year, I'm coming back to Japan for the second time. I will be visiting Kyushu, the southwesternmost part of Japan. I want to explore the culture and the story behind each location more, and I will be checking out locations recommended by a Japanese friend. This Kyushu series will be split into 3 parts. In this part 2 video, we will be exploring Kumamoto together. Welcome aboard to Curious Nomster. My name is Elaine, and I'll be your tour guide today. Au revoir! After soaking in hot spring for a couple of days, I was ready for some dramatic eruption. On day 5, we checked out Mount Aso in the Aso-Kuju National Park. Aso-Kuju National Park is a national park in Kumamoto and Kumamoto Prefectures. The park derives its name from Mount Aso. There are 9 active volcano systems in Kyushu, and Mount Aso is one of them. Not only is Mount Aso the largest active volcano in Japan, it's also one of the largest active volcanoes in the world. Mount Aso last erupted in 2021. Worry for your life but still want to check out this volcano? You can hide out in the emergency shelters nearby for some serious apocalyptic vibe. It was absolutely crazy. The fume actually shot up like crazy just before we left. What I really like about this place is I don't think there are too many tourists here. I mean, not that I could see perhaps because it is a weekday. A couple of tips for you guys. I highly recommend you to drive up to Mount Aso. You'll have to pay before you enter the Mount Aso crater, where we paid 800 yen, which is approximately 8 Aussie. I think it's well worth it. It's most definitely once in a lifetime experience. Highlights is most definitely the beautiful majestic view of the volcanic mountain and plenty of parking as well. And it was quite easy to drive up here. So how would I score this place out of 5? I would say 4. Check this out. We wanted to go to Imakin Shokuru originally, which is a traditional wooden onsen diner with Wagyu beef menus, but we couldn't go because it was too popular. We were lucky enough to stumble upon this equally awesome homey diner just a block away, Spikan Shokuro. Spikan is a chill, homey joint where you can find a lot of katsu and hambagu dishes. The kazu chicken was flavorful, but clean and not greasy. Their curry sauce is just The beef hambagu was so succulent and cooked to perfection. We were so ready for our next adventure after this hearty meal. I was being very ambitious and trying to squeeze in one more location before we headed to Kumamoto. Takachiho Gorge is about 1.5 hour drive from Mount Aso. This gorge offers stunning scenery that includes lush greenery, cliffs with interesting looking volcanic rocks, and cascading waterfalls. I recommend you to spare at least half day for this location. Activities you could do are boating in Takachiho Gorge to check out the awesome waterfalls and volcanic rocks. Walk along the Takachiho Promenade to take tons of selfies. Hike into Kyushu Nature Trail, or enjoy the epic bird's eye view of the gorge while you're taking the Amaterasu Railway. We actually only went to the promenade and the Menai Falls. We wanted to try out the boat rental as well, but the boat rental was closed due to the high river levels as well. The view of the gorge itself is well worth the drive, as well as the stunning looks of the volcanic rocks. You'll know when you get there. I'm going to show you some beautiful B-rolls. Also, it's not too crowded as well, so tips for you would most definitely be, I highly recommend you to drive to Takachiho Gorge. You could go there after you visit Mount Aso, or you could go there on your way to Beppu as well from Fukuoka perhaps. I also highly recommend you to check out their website as well before you go to the gorge, because in case of closure or maintenance on the day as well. Rating, I'm going to be a little bit biased with this one, 4.5
out of 5.
Although we were very much ready to crash when we arrived Kumamoto, but we got a room with a pretty decent view and a very decent price and location for our Kumamoto trip at Coco Hotel. I think we were off to a good start for more exploration in Kumamoto tomorrow. After spending a full day in the nature, it's only appropriate to spend some time in a castle to learn more about the history of Kumamoto Prefecture. On day 6, we went to the Kumamoto Castle. In 1588, Kato Kiyomasa arrived as the feudal lord of the former Kumamoto Castle, with what was worth about 1,170 liters worth of rice. Damage of this castle is sustained by the earthquake in 1889 and unfortunately another one in 2016, so it's currently still going through a lot of restoration work. Although it's not currently possible to enter any of the actual structures of the Kumamoto Castle due to the ongoing restoration work, the elevated walkway is currently open to the public from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day. Entrance fee is 500 yen. I recommend you to spare at least half a day to have a good look around the castle and the Kumamoto Castle Museum.
So we went to one of the keeps of the Kumamoto Castle. Keeps are where more important figures would stay. Basically, they've been going through a lot of reconstruction since, is it 2016? The first earthquake. And they haven't neglected the aesthetic part of the castle as well. Like they've got like beautiful trees and gardens dotted around the Kumamoto Castle. Like basically you feel like you're taking a stroll in the garden as well. It's very relaxing. Highlights if you're after a relaxing place to take a stroll. If you are a history person, you want to get to know more about the history and the culture of a place, this is the place for you. We actually didn't pre-book our tickets at all. We literally just walked in, so I suppose you could do the same as well. It was a very pleasant experience overall.
If you're like me, you prefer to chill in a beautiful garden with wildlife and away from the crowds, you'll surely love Suizenji Joujun Garden. Suizenji is a stroll garden set around a pond fed by springs from Mount Aso. Lord Hosokawa Tadadoshi began construction of the garden in 1636 as a tea retreat. There's in fact a tea house there in a historical building where they serve matcha tea set with suite with an open view to the beautiful garden. Information boards are all in English too, so you can understand everything about this park.
To be very honest, it is very breathtaking. So we paid 400 yen each only, which is about 4 Aussie to enter this beautiful garden. So it took us around 45 minutes to walk around the garden, around the lake. What we saw was the beautiful lake and lots of crazy chubby koi and lots of crazy pigeon, which I actually got some pigeon poops on my elbow. Nonetheless, it is a very beautiful place. I would highly recommend you not to bring any technology with you. If I have the chance to do this again, I would totally just walk around the garden without my phone and just stare into distance, enjoy the view, people watching, koi watching, pigeon watching, absolutely a lot of beautiful plants as well. So I highly recommend you to come to this garden for relaxation. Tips: do not be like us. Do not come here at 4 p.m. and rush through the garden before it closes at 5. So spare at least 2 hours if you do want to walk around, take photos, take in a view, things like that. How would I rate this place? Most certainly 4.5 out of 5 again. Highly recommend you this place, guys.
Before you leave Kumamoto, you should check out Ikinari Dango. Ikinari Dango is a traditional Japanese confection that has been handed down from ancient times in Kumamoto. This dango is made of yellow sweet potato and a layer of red bean paste, then wrapped in flour dough before being steamed. It is typically served warm, but you can also serve it as is. It is a specialty of the Kumamoto Prefecture, thanks to the volcanic ash that prompts huge harvests of sweet potatoes in the area.
So what's inside is potato and there's red bean in there. The only difference is the dango wrapper. So Steve ordered the black sugar dango wrapper and I ordered the soy powder dango wrapper. I'm gonna give it a try now, guys. I can't talk. The whole mouth is full of dango goodness. First impression to this Kinari dango is it is quite filling. In terms of sweetness, I like that it's like just the right amount of sweetness. Bear in mind though, it is very filling, so I would recommend you to share one with your friend or something like that. Nice stuff. We've just finished our trip in Kumamoto. I think Kumamoto is most definitely not as crowded as Fukuoka because the population of Kumamoto is roughly half of Fukuoka's. Out of all of the attractions we went to, I think a lot of them are fairly close to the city center, which means you could practically walk to all of them if you want to. If you have a few days to spare to check out a little bit of attractions in Kumamoto, that should do the work. So in my point of view, Kumamoto has fairly good tram and train systems as well, so it wouldn't be a problem to get around without cars in my point of view. And Kumamons are cute. Hang on. This is not the end. Next stop, we are going to Kagoshima. Are we going to bury ourselves in hot sand alive? Does black pork actually taste good? Check out part 3 of my Kyushu series to find out. Hang on, if you haven't checked out part 1 yet, click here to catch up. Click here, 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 here.